Here we are. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. As you guys know, as I've said, we don't have a wine tonight, and we're not talking about a grape tonight, but we are going to have a very important conversation that I feel is beyond necessary and is long overdue in this space and in many other spaces. It's just something we need to talk about. And I'm going to speak from a place of I'm going to speak from my heart and from my gut. I'm going to speak from a place of logic, from a place of practicality, from a place of truth. I may say some things that will provoke a lot of thought in some folks. It's going to make some people uncomfortable, and I make no apologies for that. I am a Black woman living in a world where my existence is constantly uncomfortable. So I will make no apologies for tackling the things that have created this environment for me comfortable for anybody. This is not, I mean, I gotta be honest, it sounds stupid to say, this is not an indictment on white people. I mean, the fact that that would even be mentioned is so far out of the realm of logical thinking is crazy to me. This is far outside of the realm of hating anybody. This isn't about hate. This is about what is happening. This is about the system that has created what is happening. This is about an explanation of how a lot of people that are here, a lot of people that I know and love and drink with and eat with, are woefully unaware of how they may be active participants in this. So I'll begin with thank you for my shirt, my sister in wine, my friend, Larissa Dubose, Lotus Vine Wine. She's here. If you've been following me for a while, I've long said I'm not an influencer in wine, but I am a disruptor. And right now, more than ever, my life and the life of people that look like me has been disrupted in a way that in my 38 years on this planet, I don't think I've seen. So I'm going to start with a little bit of an explanation for you guys, and we'll form the discussion there. If you have any questions there, please drop them in the box. I don't know what a safe space is, so I'm not going to call this that. I'm going to talk. You're welcome to talk and join me. And this space is going to be the space that we have this discussion. So I'm going to begin with a very good definition of how I see privilege and trauma. I know a lot of white people. I know a lot of people of many races and many ethnicities. And stepping aside from your identity and who you are, I can guarantee that I don't know a single white person that if I said to you, hey, for 24 hours, you could be me. You can be Black and you can live in my skin. You can navigate the world in that way. And in 24 hours, your life will return to exactly as it is. So for 24 hours, you just get to experience life as me. And then you get to go right back. I don't think anyone would take me up on that offer because you're well aware of the privilege that you didn't ask for. It's not a matter of guilt or anything like that. It just is. Trauma is, although I am Black, and it would be quite interesting in a way to see what it would be like for 24 hours to experience life without the societal burden of my skin color. I don't think I could find a Black person on the planet that even for 24 hours would give up their Blackness just to experience the privilege that our white counterparts get to walk around with every day. Privilege, trauma. So the reason I started this is because you guys know what's going on this week, and I have been quite concerned with, I'm going to start with, I am happy that I am not disappointed by any of the people that I actually consider friends. I am happy that the people that I consider friends and allies that are white have consistently reached out and poured into me and expressed love and presence. right? And that is appreciated. And it's also expected because it's what I would do for you. On the flip side of that, I cannot begin to tell my abject disgust that I've had with the amount of people that I don't really know that well at all that follow me, that make comments here and there, like on my stories, that as soon as these issues occurred, I got a bunch of people going, oh my God, Shakira, this is terrible. Like, I feel so helpless. Girl, you cannot start with, I feel so helpless. What can I do? I don't know. Because I don't got nothing to do either. I'm sick of this. I am at a point where literally I have cried more this week than I have in my adult life. So we're going to start with that. Do not reach out to people of no, do not reach out to Black people and ask them what you can do. When Islamophobia is occurring, I do not reach out to my Muslim friends and ask them how I can speak out against Islamophobia. When I see homophobia in action, I do not reach out to my gay friends to ask them how to actively defend them in positions where I have privilege as a cisgender woman. Okay? The work is on you. Period. There is no circumventing that. Okay? For those of you that genuinely want to find ways to help, so many times we've seen, what can I do? What can I help with? You can start with yourself. Let's begin with Amy Cooper. Amy Cooper is a white woman that was in Central Park walking her dog off a leash. A Black man, doesn't matter, but we'll say it, a Black Harvard-educated man that's a bird watcher. Now, I'm Black, and I'm telling you, I don't know another Black bird watcher on the planet, let alone a Black man, okay? Tells her very nicely, please put your dog on a leash. It's dangerous to the space where we come and watch birds, and it's the rule, right? We got white women calling the cops on Black people for barbecuing, for sitting, for reading, you know. So somebody telling you to follow the rules should not have been a problem for you, right? What Amy Cooper did in that moment was show the inner demon that all her friends knew existed and have already seen. What she showed was her outrage that a Black man of all people would say, follow the rules to a white woman. What she did next is what was the problem. What she did next was start weaponizing her whiteness. When she called the police, before she made the call, because she threatened that man not to call the police on him, not to just say that he was harassing her. She was very, very specific in what she was going to do. She was going to call the police and tell them that an African American man is threatening her life. Understand the specificity of that. Understand the intent with that statement. The intent of that statement is, I want the police to show up with lethal force because how dare you tell me to follow a rule? Okay? And to her chagrin, that man was unmoved. He welcomed her calling the police, right? And he did what he needed to do. But that is also an educated man that had the wherewithal and the emotional tools and savvy and education to combat that in a different way. But if that was a young man from Brownsville that was just in the park and said and didn't sound like Mr. Cooper, right? Maybe he sounded more like this. Yo, miss, could you please put your dog on a leash? Yo, that's crazy. You can't have your dog walking around here like that. There's rules. Now he hears Amy Cooper call the police, and you know what he do? He starts to run because he knows that if the police pull up on him and this white lady is crying and screaming that he threatened his life, he's going to die in Central Park. So he runs. So when you have white people saying things like, well, if you weren't guilty, why would you run? You run because you're afraid, okay? The moral of this story is, to all of the white women that are watching that I know, you know Amy Cooper. You know what we haven't seen? There's no sign of Amy Cooper's friends jumping out and saying what a great person she is and how nice she is. You know why? Because all her friends know exactly how she is. And a lot of you know a lot of Amy Coopers, and you not in actively engaging and calling her out on her shit in your own spaces, what makes her do her shit in public, okay? So your friend that you go out to brunch with that always does that face when there's too many black people, when you just roll your eyes and go, oh, that's so rude of her. Like, why would she say that? But you don't challenge her. I need you to understand that you are actively supporting that system of supremacy. Okay? One more time for you. Your friend that says shit like that rolls her eyes when too many black women come around, that rolls her eyes when a black woman or a black group is seated next to them because they expect it to get loud and disrupt cocktails, that friend is Amy Cooper. And if you do not say anything to her, guess what you are? You are Amy Cooper too. You are the cop that watches your partner get aggressive with a black or Latino or any minority person, and all you do is go, hey, all right, come on, guy, relax. You are an active participant in racism, right? You are an active participant in the very structure of supremacy that is killing people that look like me. But then you get on your pages and you get on Instagram and you get in your spaces and it's, hey girl, yes, girl, Beyonce, all of that. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Seriously, stop. Because you are not the ally you think you are. And this is going to require some soul searching, okay? This is going to require you to separate yourself from some friends that you either align with them, right? Or you are actually, you are saying to yourself, I'm okay with my friend being a racist, but, whatever. I have friends. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing up that situation. My friends and I were online for Tim Ho Wan, which is a very, very popular dumpling shop. It is a 1 Michelin star restaurant in Asia. I came here. I went to have lunch. It was funny enough, it was on Martin Luther King Day. I went to have lunch with some friends, 2 male friends, 2 Asian male friends. I went to charge my phone. We were talking and laughing. I stepped away to charge my phone. The second I came back and said one word, this white man turns around and starts yelling at us that I need to be quiet. And before I could get oxygen in my lungs to say something, my Asian male friends, who in that space, whether societally as a whole they do or not, but in that space had the privilege and the power, I didn't even have to say a word because they jumped right the fuck in, was like, nah. Think about how many times you've done that for a black woman. How many times have you sat silently as an Amy Cooper has called a black woman aggressive or said that she's intimidated? You know she's full of shit, but you didn't say anything. You're Amy Cooper too. And now it brings us to this wine space and to Instagram. Everybody on Instagram has a brand. It's your name. It's a reflection of who you are. It is you. If your brand is so tied to unicorns and rainbows and happiness and glasses of wine and beautiful landscapes and vineyards and all that, that it is too much for you to disrupt that and post one post about the outrage that everyone should feel about what's going on. If that's too much, if that's not what your page is about, unfriend me immediately, if not sooner. Because if your page, your brand, you cannot spare one post, one story that reflects the state of where we are, but you were all gung-ho about you can sip with us. You're all gung-ho about inclusion and diversity, but you haven't said shit about this. Goodbye. Bye, Amy. That's where we are, right? Again, I will say it. Being anti-racist requires action. Because if everybody goes, I'm an ally, I stand with you. Okay, cool. Give me an example of one thing that you've done. For all the wineries, if anybody can list me some wineries that have posted anything about this, please do. Drop it right there in the top. I haven't seen any. I really haven't. So when these brands want to pitch to you and want you to show their wine and hey, you want to do you want to do a promo with us? Tank Winery is the only one I saw. Look, you're all gonna say it exactly one, and you're all saying the exact same one. One winery, one has ever done this. Okay, so if the disruption of their brand is so fragile that if they dare speak on this, they might offend somebody else. They might do we might lose clients or whatever. If that is what your brand is, then please remove diversity and inclusion out of any messaging that you ever have, because you're not about that. And for all of my wine influencers, you have more brands reaching out to you than me. This is where you get active. You tell the next brand that reaches out to you, why didn't you say anything? What's your brand's position on this? Hey, Corvin. Y'all loved having D-Lyn and all that good stuff out there, right? I haven't seen you say a word about this. How many brands? How many that are about diversity and inclusion and want to use labor? Their vineyard labor, damn sure, is overwhelmingly people of color. But where is it? Where's the support? Where's the ally part there? I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it. So I'm putting the responsibility on a lot of you that have access to these brands, that are promoting these brands, to call them out on the shit. Because I'm not there. I'm not in that space. And this was the whole point of using pledging to influence change. You see, my call to action doesn't just talk about me. It's people in need, period. It's injustice or something that's not right, or a people or a community that needs support anywhere, everywhere, at any time. I've never been sexually harassed at work. But to see all of these women, overwhelmingly white women, say that this has happened to them, I didn't need to reach out to anybody and ask, girl, how can I be an ally to you? I didn't need that. I just needed to know that this is happening to you. I hear you. I see you. I see myself in you as a woman too, and that shit is not right. That diversity and wine shit, it's in words. I don't see it in action. I don't see it. I see All Lives Matter. That shit almost sent me through the roof. So if you're going to be an ally and you're going to be a part of the world of diversity and you're going to be a part of dismantling the system that is literally fucking me over and killing people that look like me, then my ladies, we're going to have to take some action. You're going to have to gather your Karens up and tell them to stop the shit. Because that's not my place. I'm not even in that circle. And I challenge you, if you want to be an ally, you got to get in. Yes, the McBride sisters would, because they're black. So the McBride sisters and Brown don't count. This is not their work. It is not the work of black people to dismantle systemic racism. We didn't build it. So I need everybody to understand that you need to work in your spaces. You need to work with the access that you have. You need to work in the spaces. If you're my friend, you're my ally, you're here for me, then you need to work in the spaces where I'm not. Because otherwise, don't tag me in shit. Don't invite me to shit. None of it. Because I will actually screenshot you and say, nah, sis. Be an ally. Be the diversity you claim you want to see. Be the inclusion. If it's about inclusion, where's the inclusion in my struggle? Where is it? Where's the inclusion in my community? Where's the inclusion in being a voice for me? Where I'm looking, I'm not seeing it. And y'all have to understand that there is we know all of the things that other people could be doing. But I'm speaking specifically to the wine influencing community. Y'all got 10, 15, 20, 30,000 followers. And I salute that. Go ahead. But what are you doing with it? You just gonna keep getting bottled wine and taking beautiful pictures? That's it? Cool. Don't expect the wine industry to become more inclusive because of that. Don't. The wine industry becomes more inclusive when people already in the spaces start doing the work. And if your brand is too fragile to be public about your disgust and outrage in the abject removal of humanity and dignity from Black bodies, if that's too much for your brands, girl, bye. The end. The work of systemic racism will be broken down when everybody starts to acknowledge things, and it will cost things. It might cost you something. And that's the part. See, as a Black woman, every day, what am I going to sacrifice today? Am I going to sacrifice my voice? Am I going to sacrifice my dignity? Am I going to sacrifice my humanity? Am I going to sacrifice my presence? What? Like every day, there's some space that I'm put in where I don't get the choice of what I get to sacrifice. But you have a choice. Are you going to sacrifice this campaign because this brand responded with some fuck shit when you told them they were wrong about not speaking out about this? Or are you going to go, well, what am I going to do? That's it. That's the choice that it comes down to. And this is the same for wineries and businesses. If you are so afraid of offending your membership, your board, your all of this, you're a part of the problem and you need to own it. And for those, I see there's a mixed bag in here, so I'm gonna talk to everybody. For those of you that are parts of other minority communities, women, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, Latino brothers and sisters, Asian, LGBTQ, you might want to stop saying anything about Black people and how this is happening. Because nobody is up here telling people go break shit and go tear up the place. And we're already seeing enough examples where it's not us that's doing it, okay? But I was outraged when somebody in the LGBT community had the audacity to say, are you kidding me? Let's do this peacefully. Stonewall fucked Lower Manhattan up to get the rights that they deserved. America is not built on peaceful anything, okay? From the time they pulled up, they were killing everybody. Killing the Native Americans, brought in their free labor from West Africa to build a whole nation for free. Like, we done with all that. America is built on violence. Any violence you see is a learned product, right? So you're going to tell Black people to not be violent when we learn violent from how it was perpetrated on our people as slaves. But you want us to stop. Huh. Interesting. You want us to ask nicely to be treated humanely. I want to know, of the people saying that, how many of you would go back in time and tell the Jews that were being exterminated under Hitler, you need to ask nicely. You need to be peaceful about how you ask Hitler to stop murdering you. See how stupid that sounds? Violence doesn't solve anything. A violent ass world war seemed to stop Hitler. A violent ass world war with a nuclear bomb seemed to stop Japan. A violent ass war seemed to end British hold over the Americas. A violent ass war seemed to end slavery. A violent ass war seemed to help the Haitian people break free of slavery from their French masters. You seen a trend here? Are you catching what I'm throwing here? Don't sit up here and try to judge Black people off this shit. Don't do it. And I'm going to speak from my point of privilege. I'm educated. I'm of a socioeconomic standing. I live in New York City. I don't turn on my faucet and get poison water. And if I did, I guarantee you it would last less than 24 hours. But imagine for weeks bathing your kids in water that you know is poison. For years, bathing your kids in water that's poison. have white people white-splaining Martin Luther King's philosophies to Martin Luther King's kids. Let's talk a little bit about America's now fetishizing of Dr. King, shall we? J. Edgar Hoover, head of the FBI, built his career on solely an unhealthy obsession almost with dismantling Dr. King and the civil rights movement. He did everything he could to assassinate his character, his movements, his teachings, his peaceful protests, and ultimately his life, okay? You know when J. Edgar Hoover's building was named for him? A smooth 20-something years before Dr. King got a statue. Martin Luther King Day was established by the United States government 15 years after he died. That man had been assassinated, dead. You built the building, and President Carter dedicated it to the man that headed the agency that absolutely directly led to his death. You gave that man a building before you gave MLK a motherfucking day. MLK got a statue in Washington, D.C. in 2011. And now, all of a sudden, MLK is the patron saint of racist. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you understand that this is what I'm saying when I say to live and be black in America, it is constant trauma? All right, let's let MLK go for a minute. How many times have black people been murdered on TV, and what do they become? A hashtag. Say her name. Say his name. You know what happens when the victim is white? Megan's Law. Amber Alerts. Jason's Law. Of the named legislations in the United States, 8.5 of them are named for white people, for white victims. A black woman in Louisiana was in her house sleeping with her boyfriend. The police came and executed a warrant that they had no legal authority to ever execute because they had already apprehended the person that the warrant said they should be looking for. They broke into that house and murdered that woman, and nobody has been arrested for it yet. That woman was a nurse on the front line fighting COVID, FYI. So I want y'all to understand that that's the battle that we're fighting. So when you act like it's too much to post something, too much to say to a brand, hey, I need to know your stance on the civil rights violations of black people across the country right now before I do a partnership with you. See how much easier that one seems compared to the heavy burden that black people will continue to lift. See why I can't really rock with you if you're not going to put in the work for one, when you actually have the space, power, authority, and privilege to do so? You understand where we are with this, guys? I need, if you're going to be an ally, be an ally. And if this is too much for you, you just need to own that. But you have to understand that passively saying, I'm here with you, I see you, I love you, I support you, that shit's not enough. I tell y'all that all the time. I do love you. This is my Sunday therapy. I love drinking with y'all. But this is what we need. You have access to these brands. There are black wine influencers in here. We don't get brands reaching out to us. Not at the level that you guys do. And I don't want you to think for a second that I don't think you deserve that. I applaud the shit out of that. Y'all are not old white men, which is what dominates wine. I applaud that. I support you all doing well. But because you have the power to do it, you need to do it. If you're a real ally, you're an ally. You don't get to cherry pick it. And if you're going to cherry pick it, do me a favor and keep any semblance of black culture out your shit. No more Beyonce. No more any of it. No more hip hop. No, don't cherry pick black culture. You've seen the cliche. If only Americans loved black people the way they love black culture. Don't appropriate our shit. Don't do none of that. You with us or you not. You love me, you don't. You for me or you're not. It's really that simple. You are going to have to sacrifice something if you want to actively participate in dismantling this system. It's your choice. It's not for me to make. But you are going to have to understand that to change an industry, to change the world, If your goal is to change it and to make it more diverse and to make it more exclusive, you too will have to sacrifice. Dismantling this system will require sacrifice. And even as a white woman with all your privilege, you have your disadvantages too, but I've been there for you. And Black women has stood the fuck up for y'all every goddamn time. So we need it. We need you in the spaces where we can't be to be the voices that we can't be. And if y'all are not going to do it, y'all need to step the fuck aside because we got work to do. I want you to know that the resources are there. I'm not writing resources for anybody. If you care, you will find it. If you care, you will get together as a collective and find and share the resources. The same way everybody came together as a community to support the industry, to do all these things, you can come together among the top 10 women that are wine influencers on Instagram. I'm sure you have over 1 million followers among all of you. Imagine if you all came together with one powerful voice and did something. The work of diversity and inclusion is dirty. It's hurtful. It's emotional energy. It's emotional labor. But it is not a fraction of the emotional labor that I carry every day and still do it with clear skin and a smile. So it's work, but I do it. Why can't you? Confused. There's Google, there's books. It's not like you have to go and look up microfiche now. It's 2020. Do the work, y'all. Do the work. Stop the Amy Coopers in their tracks before they get somebody that looks like me, somebody I love, killed. Do the work. I don't think that the entire police force is bad. That would be stupid. I mean, really, like what group of people on earth? I think all skinheads are bad. I think all Nazis are bad. I mean, I think all hate groups in general are bad. I don't think the whole police force is bad. But I think that if you watch your partner do some shit and you don't say anything, you're just as bad as he is. I think if you know there's a racist cop in your unit and you allow that blue wall of silence to silence you, two things. One, you should not tell anybody else about remaining silent. And two, if you that pussy, why are you a cop? If you that scared of everybody, if every Black person, every minority is a threat to you, why are you a police officer? Change is uncomfortable. Dismantling a system that you know you benefit from is uncomfortable. It is. I know it. But you got to sacrifice something if you're an ally. You just have to. You have to sacrifice something if you're an ally. You got to go out there. You have to put yourself in spaces. You need to understand if you don't have any Black friends, there's nobody Black in your phone that you can call and ask questions or have a conversation with. If you haven't been to a Black barbecue, then you're observing it from the outside. It might look a little chaotic to you, right? But it's just us having a good time. But if you've never been in that space, you don't know it, right? You don't know what it is. If you've never been in a Japanese barbecue spot or a ramen spot, you don't know the intro that happens every time you walk in because you've never been in that space. So the first time you see it, it might be jarring to you. Why the hell is everybody yelling at me? But if you've been in that space before, it's normalized to you. So the same way you pack up your car, you go to the Hamptons, you go to Sag Harbor, you go to Rhode Island, you go to all places, actively go to Black spaces. This is New York. There's festivals, without COVID, obviously. Go among spaces where you are not the majority. Do that. And I'm sorry for using the word pussy. That was really not nice. And I'm going to take that back. Hi, Molly. That was very uncouth, but I'm angry. Do the work, y'all. Do the work. Go to spaces. If you don't got no Black friend, you know me. Say, hey, Shakira, I want to do a brunch. But I want a mix of people. Let's do a brunch. And by all means, stop saying all lives matter. If you say all lives matter to me, I'm going to cuss you out. Obviously, all lives matter. And let's dissect the dog whistle of all lives matter, okay? When Black people started saying Black lives matter, Y'all started saying all lives matter. As though black lives don't matter, but all lives matter. And then cops started saying blue lives matter. But if saying black lives matter meant that all other lives didn't matter, doesn't saying blue lives matter mean the same thing? Is that any different? I don't think that's any different. Obviously, all lives matter. But turning on CNN or the news, I don't see other lives being taken by the police and then ran in an infinite loop on TV night after night, week after week. I only see black bodies being degraded like that. I only see black trauma being fetishized. I only see black trauma being turned into almost porn, right? So don't tell me nothing about all lives matter. Because if you say all lives matter, I feel like, oh, that Black Lives Matter thing is too much. Okay? Fix that. Don't say all lives matter. And if I see it, I let a couple of you slide. I will not let it slide again. If you say all lives matter, I'm going to post it up and I'm going to say that not an ally. Report me if you want to, but no lie. That's what's going to happen. So don't do it. If you're going to be an ally, you don't need to be an ally in name. Everybody can be an ally in name. Be an ally in action. Talk to me about what you're doing, how you're trying to help, what spaces you're in where you're trying to break the mold. There's some dope people in here that have done it. Molly, I'm talking to you, talking to David, talking to Shitty Wine Memes, who immediately, her page is all about humor, and immediately you saw shit about what was going on her page. Jacqueline, a couple others. Like, I'm not going to call y'all out by name because there's actually a lot of you, and I'm really, really happy for that. And to each and every one of you that did it, I think that you're doing the right thing as people, right? I'm not going to pat you in the head for being a good person because that's what I thought you were anyway. But I need white women to understand that black women are tired of showing up for people that don't show up for them. And that's the summary of this. We are tired of showing up for everybody. There is not a major movement in this country that has occurred without black women on the front line of it. Putting our bodies, putting our dignity, putting our pride, putting our safety on the line for every single other minority group that has ever faced a struggle in this country. I just want you to be the ally in action that you say you are in word. I'm tired. Y'all know I'm the most happy-go-lucky, bubbly person in the world. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm enraged. I'm emotionally drained. I'm crying. I'm not even really a crier like that. I'm exhausted. Pick up the mantle. We got Trump because white women let us down and didn't vote for another white woman. Kevin, tuna will always go in macaroni salad, and you will get dragged in here by a bunch of black women that absolutely know you cannot make macaroni salad without tuna. I knew you were going to make me laugh with something stupid. Damn it, Kevin. Oh, man. Shit. I'm happy to smile. I really am. And through all of this crazy shit, I'm still going to smile. Tomorrow, I'm going to choose joy. Tomorrow, y'all going to get pictures of my babies, pictures of my family, pictures of my friends, pictures of me smiling. Tomorrow, I'm going to choose joy. And I don't know if I'll keep that for the week. I pray that I can, but I don't know if I can. But buy from a black business. Talk to black people. Engage in somebody in this chat that you've had an exchange with. Reach out to them. Hey, girl, we were in this chat. How are you? Where do you live? I see we like to say, do something. Start a conversation. Be there for us. We've been there for you. Black women have done so much for so many. We are tired. This is just the right thing to do. Bad things happen when good people stay silent. I love y'all. I really do. I love each and every one of you. Spread love, spread joy, be a good person. Dismantle systemic racism. Check on all your black friends, your black coworkers. I don't care what they tell you, they're not okay. Offer a kind word, a kind hug. I know it's hard to find the right words to say because there aren't really right words right now, but say something because silence speaks volumes. I hope that you took something good away from this. I hope that many of you take a moment to do the work. I'm seeing the love. I love y'all all. Do the work, y'all. Let's dismantle this system. It's not right. Nobody should die. The original accusation was that that man passed a $20 bill that was fake. At worst, that's a fine. That man's dead now. That man's family watched him die on TV. A CNN black reporter was arrested on live TV for doing his job with credentials. Just do the work, y'all. This will be up on my IG Live. I hope you have a good and safe week. Check on your black friends. They're not okay. But we gonna be all right. Words of Kendrick Lamar. Love you guys.